and they build everything from it with larvae because they're like aliens. Bug
Yeah,
aliens,
they're
I guess.
they're the cockroaches on crack. Or did I say steroids? Same thing.
Yeah.
But, those are its worker units, and the brownish, purplish, grayish stuff on the ground, that is called creep, and all their stuff has to be built on creep.
Yeah.
It's this biomatter thing that's emitted from their buildings that allows them to thrive, and they just invade planets and take them over. So that's kind of what it's showing here. It just becomes a pain in the butt because you can't get to your ramp.
Yeah.
Ever.
That's a little further. But yeah, what you said about the creeping everything and the swarming everything, they're literally supposed to be in mass. So if you want to do a Zerg player and you really like to mass things, so Zerglings.
Swoosh.
And also their units build their stuff. So I just sacrificed a drone, which is what they're called, to build whatever they wanted.
Yeah, she's building what the barracks that made the other basic unit was. It's sort of like that. It allows you to build the basic unit at the hatchery there with the larva. You use one larva to make two of the basic unit because they're so bad in that early game that it lets you build a studio for the price of one.
You're really you're proving the worth. They're so bad at the beginning.
Which is why they're
They're
so
all. I mean, you can kill them with a worker.
Yeah,
Workers have
true.
really bad attack and health, but they're still more powerful than a basic fighting unit for this race.
Yeah.
So not only is this race hard, it is severely underpowered. So don't use it.
Well, we're not going to talk about balance of the race.
Yeah, I know.
It
'Cause
just,
it's completely
if you're a beginner,
balanced.
just try not to play this race. Unless you look at this and you're like, man, I want to be that race. It looks so cool. And like,
Fall in love with it.
at a level where you're beginning, like, really, if you want to get good at this game, you want to choose the one that looks the coolest. And the one that you think you're going to have the most fun with. So if it's Zerg, then do it. But just realize that you're probably going to need someone to tell you what to do, at least the first game or two.
It's an uphill
It's not very intuitive.
Yeah, and,
Yeah.
a lot of what you do is you have to react very quickly to this race, because a lot of the units move very quickly. So it's all about your reaction time with this. Whereas with Terran, you can just move out and you don't really have to worry about having to control it.
Yeah.
Except Stim.
Stimpack is an upgrade you can get that allows you to move faster and shoot faster for like 10 seconds, but it takes away some of your health.
So much to explain about this game.
Yeah, it's really complicated.
Yeah.
But that's what you like.
We're
What you see there, that queen that she just had selected, it's a defensive sort of unit that lets you build in your base, and it allows your hatchery to build more larvae.
Which is what they built. See?
The gray bar is showing the progress of how much larva is coming out. So
Yeah. And
Just
the
throwing
thing
down
on
the
top of it is a
base.
health bar, by the way.
yeah,
Once it
the
goes
green
down,
thing's health bar.
it dies.
Oh, you should turn down health bars so they can see the game.
Eh,
Uh,
I like health.
oh,
I think they can see
I
the
mean,
game.
I love health bars.
I think you should pull out and let them see some other units.
all right.
That's an overlord.
Zerg is very diverse.
Player
Like
2
there's
already won again.
armored little tank sort of things and
I
little
could just
fire-
make like
Never
um,
die. And they never do any damage either.
Check the Tumblr chat room for Sakio, homie.
Get some shout outs in here.
I can't. My
Just a G.
thing is.
It's all blinking at you. It's like, click me. I am here. Click me.
that was actually a pretty good
That was really good Thor impression, not gonna lie.
Take it, Richard. My laughing Richard is much better than you.
No,
What do you mean louder?
please don't
Louder
look
what?
at Laughing Richard.
Oh,
Please don't look at Laughing Richard.
What is supposed to
Laughing.
be louder?
Why are you looking at Laughing Richard? Please stop.
Why are you looking at us? Ah.
Look at StarCraft. I am
Guys.
not StarCraft.
Guys, what did you mean by louder? You told me to look at Skype. That was on Skype.
No, not Skype. The
That
chat.
was the
chat.
will.
We're talking to Will.
Oh,
These people are assertive.
God. Alright,
Skip.
Let's see. I think I have one more thing to say. I have one more
Paranopi.
Oh. Okay, well, yeah, that, and, but, there's lots of different combinations you can get where you can make very heavily armored things where, you try to move out and take out other armored things with your armored things. Yeah, good stuff. And, there's biological units that you can heal with, flying, like, what? you can heal because they've got magic space stuff. It's not really explained, but yeah.
This is the worst fastest map possible.
Yeah.
That was incorrect, but
Wow.
whatever. I was just gonna show if you.
The fastest map possible. That doesn't do that.
That wasn't it. Yeah, what I'm doing. If you also press join a game in this multiplayer and then join a game, these are all like they don't count at all. They're just like for funsies, and people make it on the Blizzard site. Like Blizzard doesn't make it. Usually these are from people who just really love to use the Blizzard tools. And there's just like a bunch of fun mini games that you can play, and that's what I was clicking, was a game called Fastest Map Possible. And this is also like a really good way to get into stuff. I mean, I think all of us when we were 12, and like getting into video games, we went on Warcraft and we pressed custom game and played like Kodo Tag and stuff, and that's how we got into
And
the game.
Dota.
Kodo tag.
We still looking at Zerg, or are we moving on to Protoss?
We can move on.
Well, I
to
don't think we
Protoss.
cover. Oh, okay. Protoss it is.
Protoss.
Best race.
Protoss.
Best race. I'm counting.
Master race.
The fun race.
Yep.
Actually,
I always
actually,
have the most
the best.
whoa. Random is the master race. Just saying.
Wrong.
Correct.
It's not a race. It's a collection of races.
That's why it's the master race.
There can be only one, and that's Protoss.
Assimilate.
No.
Okay, we're in game.
On to
Hey-yo.
Protoss.
Rotoss.
Someone else can cover this, I'm not.
Will. But up Zeracool.
Protoss.
Protossing Protoss.
So,
This is the alien race.
Anyone play Protoss here?
They are-
Besides me?
the more technologically advanced race, so to speak. They have very high-cost units. They have shields, which are unique to their race only, and the shields regenerate. The workers you see there are called probes. They build the buildings, and the buildings, you don't have to, like, sit there and build like Terran, or you don't lose a unit like with Zerg. They just set it down, and it warps in, and then the probe can go back to doing whatever you want to do.
Yeah, like with Zerg, you actually have to become the building, and with Terran, you have to sit there and wait for it to finish. Like you're building it with your bare hands. But this, you just get to troll and watch it build from a distance, safe distance.
They get nerfed a lot.
Yes. Except for upgrades. They got buffed
Yep.
with the price reduction.
Another thing with Protoss is their supply building is the pylon. It gives them their supply, and it also supplies the power grid, which their buildings have to be built on. It's sort of like Zerg creep, but
Yeah.
it can be built anywhere, and it doesn't have to be spread around through using a queen or overlord like Zerg does. You can just place a pylon wherever you want, and you can place buildings in it like Zombie is demonstrating.
You must construct additional pylons all the time.
And you'll see what they do is they don't actually construct anything. The probes, which is what she's controlling right now, are little robot things created inside her base, and it designates an area for the building to be warped down onto, which is what the pylons serve as. It's a it powers a certain amount of things. So yeah, that's your little.
Homing beacon.
that's your
Yep.
little lesson.
And another thing about Protoss is on their Nexus, they have an ability called Chrono Boost, which essentially makes all their research go faster. It's like one of the core things for Protoss to use. And you can make units faster, you can research your upgrades faster, It's a very handy tool for them to use. And in their tech path, you need to make, obviously, pylon first, then your gateway, which then allows you to build the cybernetics core, which then allows you to build a whole wide variety of things from your robotics facility to your Stargate to your...
Everything.
Yeah, basically your everything.
Things that keep you alive.
It's more of the gateway than your actual gateway.
Yeah, the most important thing is your gateway. It is like the hub for all the Protoss units with the thing that you research through the Cybernetics core, which is called Warp Gate Tech. Essentially, it lets you convert your gateway into Warp Gate, which allows you to warp in any Protoss unit within a power field of a pylon, which lets you basically place units anywhere on the map you have a pylon. It's like Protoss's way to reinforce the front or defend fast. No other race has that ability. They have to actually build the unit and have like a build time.
It's a very good way to defend your base if you're getting attacked, because you can see what they have and make the appropriate unit to be able to fend it off.
Yes.
Also, if you have a forge, well, that's just like, just go build cannons in their base. It's a good way to get started. Learn how to build buildings and use them to kill them.
But back onto the gateway being the hub building for the Protoss, all the buildings can unlock a unit to warp in through the gateway. Like, the Cybernetics core allows you to make Stalkers. The Twilight Council, which unlocks the Dark Shrine and High Templar Archives. That's correct, right? I just...
Yep.
Yeah.
Just Templar.
I don't know what it's called. I just build it all the time.
Yeah, but basically, certain buildings allow you to warp in other units. Simple as that. It's very nifty.
Yeah, there's two type of Templar, which are like the priest sort of order, that they refrain from fighting, except when they do, they just kill everyone. But there was a rift between them because they wanted to do different things. So the Dark Templar, they're these invisible guys with swords, pretty much. They moved off to their own little planet, and a High Templar, like the more priest-like of them, they stayed on their planet, and it's kind of like Romeo and Juliet, except instead of one of the Capulets and one of the Montagues getting together, it's like all the parents got together, and now they're all friends.
That's a very interesting way of putting it.
And they didn't even have to kill off their kids, but they
Pass
would
it
if
on.
you asked them to.
Tassadar and Zeratul.
As you'll see,
Oh God, no, don't! I don't want to think about that.
as you'll
Too
see
late.
shortly, she will probably warp in a couple units using the warp gates.
There you
She
go.
just finished the warp gate, and that's how you do it. You just click an area, they warp in from their spaceship thing. Not really sure where they come from, but they get warped onto the planet, and then you got them. She's building an air unit right now.
She's basically doing what most Protoss wish they can do.
Win.
Win and make units. I feel like that's it for Protoss, essentially.
Yeah, just about.
I mean, their units are more costly than other races.
But they're also
Except the
tougher,
gas,
and
but
they
they're-
do more damage.
They're tougher, essentially. like,
In
like
theory.
on paper, they're tougher, but we're not going to talk about that.
Yep.
Phoenix range upgrade.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, that's all
Slizzard.
for
Yeah.
the race introduction.
All right.
Woo.
I believe next up we were talking about, well, Will's going to talk about how the economy in games work. Correct, Will? How spend your resources in game, etc., etc.
Yes.
I'll to cover supply and how that works.
I already covered supply though. Like, you can't go over your supply. You get limited
Well,
by it.
did you explain how it's not like one supply equals one unit?
They built a sensor tower at the front.
Yeah, and he was
Okay, I'll
very
do-
picky about
No,
letting
no,
it
don't
die.
let him use.
Don't. Oh.
Ah.